Grace and peace, everyone, and welcome, watch enthusiasts. This is Time Measured. My name is DK, also known as Javid, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the Oris Aquis small seconds date, and I'll also comment on how this compares to its big brother, the Oris Aquis. Now, Oris, as many of us know, is an independent Swiss brand established in 1904. And Oris falls right at the edge of the entry-level luxury watch tier, where many of their watches fall right in between the $2,000 to $5,000 price range. Now, Oris is also well known for the Oris Aquis date, the Oris Diver 65, and the Oris Big Crown Pro Pilot. Oris is a company that is also very environmentally conscious, and they pay respect and homage to individuals who have made certain contributions to society. For example, they made a watch dedicated to Roberto Clemente, and they have other watches dedicated to other influential figures as well. And I like that, and that's very respectable for Oris. And now for the review. Let's begin. Looking at the watch, we're going to start off with the most obvious feature, which is the dial. Now you have a beautiful matte black dial, which has been accented with the color orange on the indices, the hour and minute hand, and the small seconds sub-dial, as well as the pip at the top on the bezel. You have the words Oris Automatic at the 12. You have Swiss Made at the bottom. You have the date window, which is perfectly placed at the 6 o'clock, which is my preference. And then you have the water resistance label, pressure resistant, 50 bars / 500 meters at the 3 o'clock. You have a double domed sapphire crystal with AR coating. Now, orange happens to be one of the most visible colors underwater, which is why Oris chose to accent the dial with the color orange. Now, one thing Oris does is they always look for feedback from the professional community. And when it comes to their dive watches, they sought feedback from the diving community. And what they came back was separating the seconds function now puts emphasis on the minute hand, which is the most important function to a diver when it comes to using the diving bezel and timing their dives. So now you have the seconds in a small second sub-dial at the 9 o'clock, and now the diver can focus on the minute hand, which is the most important function that he or she needs to look at when doing dives. Now, wherever you see all the orange accents on the dial, this has all been coated and lumed with super-luminova, and we will be doing a lume shot shortly. Now here's a quick lume shot. You can see that the lume is very good, very respectable, and it's nothing to complain about. You can see all the hour indices are lumed. You can see the pip at the 12 o'clock is lumed. The hour minute hand, as well as the small second sub-dial, which looks really cool. So in terms of lume on this watch, it is good, and you won't be disappointed. Moving on to the case, you have a kettle-shaped stainless steel case, brushed on the sides. The top of the lugs are polished. You have crown guards. You have a ceramic bezel insert that looks very nice, that complements the black dial. The coin edge sides of the bezel are polished. You have a closed case back compared to the Oris Aquis date, which is an open case back. At the back, you can see you have a conversion table of the meters to feet for pressure resistance. You can see 50 bars / 500 meters pressure resistance. You have the Oris logo, sapphire crystal, stainless steel case. Nicely done. This is heavy duty, expected from Oris. Now the case size is rather large. You have a 46 millimeter case size. You have a case thickness of 14 millimeters. You have a lug to lug length of 53 millimeters. And if you take a look at the lugs, from one end of the lug to the other is 26 millimeters, and the actual lug width is 12 millimeters. You have screwed down crown guards. The bezel functions very nicely. Very nice ratcheting action. And it lines up, as you can see here, which is great. Now, within the stainless steel case, we're going to move on to the movement. The movement is the Oris 743, which is basically a base Sellita SW-220-1 movement. You have a power reserve of 38 hours, 28,800 vibrations per hour at 4 Hertz frequency, 26 joules. Looking at the crown, you have a nice signed crown. You have an oversized crown, which is polished on the sides, which measures at 8 millimeters in diameter and 5 millimeters thick. So it's a nice big crown. Crown is easy to grab and has nice buttery smooth winding action. It is a screw down crown. In the first position, changes the date, and the second position, you're able to set your time. It has hacking and hand winding, obviously. You can see the small second subdial stopped, pushing back into the crown, and you can see that second subdial moving again. Taking a look at the bracelet, you can see that the bracelet is heavy duty. All the links are solid and articulate very well, as you can see here. Interesting to see, the middle links are brushed and then the sides of the links are polished, giving this watch a very shiny look. And for some people, this could also mean a lot of prints or smudging. And for some people that might be a turnoff, but I think this suits this watch very nicely. Now, you have a 26 millimeter length from this lug to this lug, and it tapers all the way down to 20 millimeters at the clasp, and the clasp itself is 22 millimeters. You have a sign buckle with Oris. You have a double push button clasp, which is nicely milled, very high quality. You have 3 micro adjustments, as well as a diver's extension as well. Done very nicely. Now in terms of style and performance, this watch is a heavy-duty tool watch and a dive watch, and in my opinion is actually even a better functional dive watch than the Oris Aquis. However, just due to the large case sizing and increased thickness of the watch, this is a big boy. Watch is built like a tank, and making this watch a little bit less versatile than the smaller Oris Aquis. Nonetheless, if you're a person who loves the color orange and you like your watches big and heavy duty, this watch is going to be for you. This is an extremely heavy duty tool watch and sports watch. This watch is built like a tank. It's very masculine, and despite its large case size, has an extremely good wrist presence. It's bold, but sits very comfortable on the wrist. And I'm just going to do a wrist shot here. Let's put this bad boy on. And as you can see here, it has a strong wrist presence. And despite its large case size, you can see how the lugs jet downward, making this watch hug your wrist very comfortable. And I have to say, this watch does wear comfortably on the wrist. In terms of value, brand new, this watch is going for just over $3,000 in Canadian. And I'm just talking Canadian funds because I'm in Canada. However, you can purchase this watch used from anywhere between $1,700 and $1,900 Canadian. Now let's just do a side-by-side comparison against the Seiko SKX007. As you can see, you have your larger 46mm dial on the Oris compared to the 42mm Seiko. Here you can see the difference in case thickness, just as a comparison. Just taking a look at the watch one last time. Well, I hope you enjoyed my review of the Oris Aquis Small Seconds Date. Please like and subscribe and add your comments. And until the next one, take care.